got motivated, so I decided to make a second video tonight of our dinner, and it's in my favorite cookbook, Rachel Ray's 365 No Repeats. I think it's her second cookbook, and I love it so much it's falling apart. And it's ricotta pasta with grape tomatoes, peas, and basil, and it's on page 170. Anyways, it's super good. So first I start off with boiling some penne pasta. So I get a box of that, a pound of penne pasta, and I put it in there to boil. And I don't know if you know that, you probably do, but water boils faster if you put a little bit of salt in there. So I put a little salt in first, cover it, have it boil, and then throw in the penne pasta, the ricotta. So oopsie, sorry Amelia, so I put that in there. So that's cooking. In the meantime, I put some olive oil, extra virgin olive oil in a pan, and I'm going to start that. And we're going to put in first some lovely onions and cook that up. So we'll start that. That'll take a little bit. And after that cooks for about 5 minutes or so, we'll put about a cup's worth of frozen peas in there and then mix that around. And then after we put that in, we can put in some parsley, which is right here, about a big handful of parsley. I use the Italian parsley because it's smoother and the texture is a little nicer when you taste it. The texture is nicer. It's not so rough like the other parsley. I don't know what that parsley is called, but this is Italian parsley. Good stuff. So we'll put that in, and then we'll cook that, and that'll get going. After that's all cooked and our pasta's all cooked, we'll drain that, and then we'll bring it over here. And over here I have 2 tablespoons of butter in a big bowl, and I have 2 cups of ricotta cheese ready to put in the bowl. And then a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, and I just get the generic Parmesan cheese from Kroger. I guess you can get something fancier, but I just get the generic. So once we put everything on the stove in here with the butter, the ricotta cheese, and then the Parmesan cheese, I'll also add in about oh, how much is that? A little less than 10 ounces of some grape tomatoes. So we'll put that in, and then we'll mix it up. And then I top it with some fresh basil. We have some basil growing in our garden, but I don't think enough. But it looks really pretty if you tear this up and put that right up on the top of that. So let me go ahead and mix this up. We've got about 2 minutes left here. I do like to have this with the side of steamed asparagus, and I bought the asparagus 2 days ago from Kroger, but when I took it out it was really kind of gross, and right now they're not accepting exchanges or returns, which is sort of unfortunate. So I had to toss out the asparagus, and we got second best, we've got some broccoli in here, so that'll be good. So here, so anyways, let me mix this up. And we've got the onions are cooking really nicely. Let me get my spatula. We'll mix this around. It's going to cook a little bit more. My kids really, well, 2 of my kids really like this recipe. My husband loves this recipe. Amelia, who's recording this, doesn't really like this recipe. But hey, I think it's really good. And she might grow into it at some point and might like it. What do you think, Amelia? No? No? I think it's really good. Some people, they just don't know. But you know what they say, as you get older, your taste buds die. And so when you get older, you start to like more things. Plus, they say it takes at least 6 or 7 tries of a new thing to eventually like it. If you start off not liking it, even though we've had this more than 6 or 7 times, I would have thought she would have liked it by now, but no, she doesn't. But hopefully, by the time she's my age, which is ancient, she will like it. Oh, and our water is just bubbling so nicely. I'll mix that up again. That has about 1 more minute to cook. And I guess I should start my broccoli, which I haven't started yet. So we'll start that. All right. So we'll start that in about 1 minute. Well, maybe I'll put in this right now. I'll put in the peas right now and cook that up. There go the peas. Cook that so they defrost. And I will, guess I could put the ricotta cheese in right now. That in. And then we'll put in our half a cup of Parmesan cheese. That's all in there. And then we'll wait to put that on the top at the very end. So that's just ready to go. So here's my basil. I just got this from Publix. I went to Publix to get this. Usually I go to Kroger, but Publix is actually closer, and but it's a little tad bit more expensive. So, but it was closer, and I forgot to get the basil, so I went to the closer place to get the basil. Anyway, so my pasta should be ready. Mix that a little more. It feels like it's ready. So turn that off. We're gonna mix this up a little bit more. What do you think, Amelia?
Cool.
Cool beans?
Cool peas.
Right, let me get my...
She didn't hear me.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh.
Cool beans, that's very good. All right, let me get my little colander thingy. Beep, beep. Uh-oh. There we go. There it is. Take that out. So I actually got that out first, right? All right, I'll put that in there. Sorry, we have to recycle that. I haven't recycled that yet. All right. Ooh, that's hot stuff. Let's go down in there. Get my timer off. Stop. All right. Whoopsies. There we go. Very hot. It's looking good. So now we're going to swing over this way. Beep, beep, sheep in a Jeep. Put it over here. Alrighty, and we'll mix that in a little bit. What do you think, Amelia? Any change, any idea that maybe this could be really good?
Could be.
It's almost like fancy mac and cheese is what I tell her. It's just the fancy stuff. It's not the stuff in the box. That's why it's so good. Here we go, and then this all starts to melt in. The butter's gonna melt. And the ricotta cheese is gonna melt. Oop, I can see the butter. Here we go. I see some butter in there trying to melt. Get all the little noodles full of the ricotta cheese. All right, and then I'm gonna come over here and check our peas and our onions. It's looking good. Ooh, it feels hot. Looks like that should be done. Let me look at all my things that I need to put in. Ingredients, the cheese, the butter, the Parmesan cheese, the onion, the green peas, the parsley, and then basil on top of that. Okay, yeah, we're good. So I'm going to take this over. This pan is so heavy. Drives me a little crazy. It's so heavy and hot. All right, that wasn't the best job of pouring that in, but good enough. Oof. Bring it over here. Really, that made a lot of noise. Alrighty, and we will mix this in. Doesn't that look good, Amelia?
Delicious.
All right, and then we'll scoop up the lovely tomatoes. Boom. And we'll throw those in. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's glorious. What do you think?
I mean, if you like it, that's cool.
It's really good. So now let's put it on a plate and you can see how pretty it looks. How about that? Maybe that'll change your mind.
I already have seen it a lot of times.
Okay. We'll put that on top.
But I'm sure your viewers will love it.
Okay, I'm sure they will. Look at that. And then we'll come over here and we'll take some of my lovely basil leaves and we'll tear that and sprinkle it on top. Oh, it looks so good. And there we go. There's our ricotta pasta with grape tomatoes and peas. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you make it sometime soon. Have a good night. Good night. So I forgot to cook up the parsley as well, so I'm going to cook that in there really quickly in the leftover olive oil, and then I'll transfer it into our ricotta pasta, and then it'll be all set. Sorry about that, just a little addendum. Thanks. Have a good night.